If you like this video, please give a thumbs up. Hit the bell icon to be notified of new videos. During the late 1980s, a man by the name of Bob Laser, a former Area 51 engineer, went public with supposed inside information. What he revealed would make him an extremely controversial figure, even amongst ufology enthusiasts. Some believe Laser is a government pawn whose purpose is to spread misinformation across the masses. Others speculate he's merely a profiteer who fabricated stories in hopes of financial gain. However, some feel that perhaps this whistleblower may in fact be telling the truth. Robert Scott Laser was born on January 26, 1959 in Coral Gables, Florida. He holds degrees in both physics and electronics from MIT as well as the California Institute of Technology. Much of his life was spent living in Las Vegas, where he dabbled in several scientific pursuits in attempts to better understand propulsion. After experimenting with chemistry and fireworks production, Laser assembled a jet vehicle capable of land speeds over 350 miles per hour. Monitor newspaper featured Laser's 22,000 horsepower car on its front page. At this time, in 1982, Laser attended a lecture at Los Alamos National Laboratory in New Mexico. Dr. Edward Teller, the inventor of the atomic bomb, would be speaking. Both of the science fanatics met afterward and quickly struck up a conversation. As luck would have it, Dr. Teller happened to be reading that very issue of Monitor paper. When Laser pointed out the article, he was advised to submit his resume for consideration. Within a few days, the eager physicist was hired and became an esteemed Los Alamos staff member. 5 years later, Laser found himself working at S4, a location 125 miles north of Las Vegas and 15 miles south of Groom Lake. Often called Area 51, or Dreamland, the region has captivated the masses for generations. According to the propulsion systems expert, he was recruited by the Department of Naval Intelligence to work on a secret program called Project Galileo. Unbeknownst was the fact that this specific employment opportunity would permanently turn his life upside down. Reaching the remote destination required quite an arduous commute. First, he would drive to McCarran International Airport in Nevada and enter the EG&G Special Projects building. An unmarked plane would then fly directly to Groom Lake. Upon landing, Laser would embark on a windowless bus that drove across the desolate desert before finally reaching S4. The entrance was only granted upon approval of an incredibly thorough security check. Once inside the facility, he noticed a total of 9 hangars built into a mountainside. Each possessed perfectly camouflaged sand-colored doors. Laser did not have full clearance and was escorted into one of the installations by his superior. He was led into a specific room where 122 briefings were presented. A stern commanding officer instructed the new hire to read every single document. While making his way through the paperwork, a brief synopsis was found about various operations being executed at the base. Upon completing his assigned task, he was informed that his position was replacing 2 individuals recently killed on the job. These men had been working on a craft and for unknown reasons, they cut its operating reactor. The detonation caused a massive deadly explosion that could be felt from faraway distances. Officials deceitfully told nearby citizens the tremor was an aftereffect of nuclear testing. On Laser's 3rd day, he was brought into a building that housed 9 different flying saucers. Initially, he blamed experimental military technology, which would explain the massive amount of UFO sightings. However, once he physically entered a vessel, all rationalizations quickly dissipated. There was an inexplicable ominous feeling that radiated throughout his entire body. Such a strong emotional response truly perplexed the left brain scholar. Even stranger were the impractical tiny child-sized interior seats. Further meticulous inspection brought forward a startling conclusion: these vehicles could not be of an earthly origin. Contrary to his initial belief, the S4 crew hadn't been manufacturing the crafts, they were reverse engineering them. During the coming weeks, Laser continued to work on several eerie devices. Each was cool to the touch and appeared to be made out of some type of metal similar to unfinished stainless steel. No noticeable seams existed, so it seemed as if the craft was manufactured from a mold. Over time, he discovered how the flight capabilities functioned. Every machine generated its own gravitational field and turned surrounding gravity waves in reverse polarity to that of Earth's. Invisibility could be rendered by traveling faster than the speed of light. On the flying device's floor was an antimatter reactor that controlled all movements. A compound with the atomic number of 115, undiscovered in 1989, served as its fuel source. Element 115 allowed the spaceships to drag points together from anywhere in the infinite cosmos. UFOs created an amplified nonlinear distortion in both space and time. Vast distances could be navigated in mere seconds. Since the apparatuses function by warping space itself, infinite momentum is achieved. Limitless energy is provided through a purposely created environmental distortion. Laser gradually gained more knowledge regarding the mysterious activities occurring at S4. One night he witnessed an airship performing a dazzling test flight. His colleague explained that these particular UFOs originated from Zeta Reticuli 1 and 2, a binary star system located 39 light-years from our planet. Another occasion led to him being shown autopsy photos of an otherworldly being. Some type of organ had been removed from the creature's open chest cavity, and Laser described it as closely resembling the typical gray alien. Allegedly, such entities are responsible for creating modern man through centuries of genetic alterations to our simian ancestors. Eventually, an inside source recounted what would become the most troubling story of all, a human-extraterrestrial war. Only 10 years earlier, military personnel and Martian visitors maintained a working relationship. Yet the professional data exchange program would soon come to a screeching halt. One fateful day, security officers attempted to gain entry into a designated ET part of the grounds. Each was equipped with sidearms which, according to Laser, would have caused a massive explosion. When subterranean aliens attempted to stop incoming armed guards, a fight ensued. 66 faculty members lost their lives and prompted the decades-long correspondence's abrupt ending. 6 months after his inceptive enlistment, Laser decided to leave S4 base for personal reasons. Before parting ways, high-ranking directors threatened his life and stated that if anything were disclosed there would be major repercussions. Weeks later, the ex-employee was shot at by an unmarked car while driving on the highway. Following the harrowing incident, he reached out to KLAS, a Las Vegas TV station, where he gave an interview with investigative reporter George Knapp. Laser rationalized that if he turned up dead succeeding his speaking publicly, it would look incredibly suspicious for government officials. Self-preservation was his ultimate justification. Nearly 30 years have passed since this bizarre first-hand experience made headlines. While skeptics remain critical of such claims, Laser maintains his authenticity. In 2003, element 115 was positively identified, adding further validity and potential supporting evidence. Recently, a physicist named Dr. Robert Krengel came forward and stated that he did in fact work with Laser at Los Alamos Laboratory. Perhaps with the progression of time, additional professionals will open up about their own involvement. Until then, whatever transpired in those Nevada hangars remains mere speculation and will provide endless intrigue for conspiracy theorists. What do you think of Bob Laser and his extraordinary tale?